Hi there and welcome to Ruth Norbury Art's leaf inspiration video. Now I'm going to show you all kinds of different things that you can do with these leaves here. These are just any old leaf from my garden, but probably best to make sure that they're not poisonous. I know these ones aren't, so that's okay. So any old leaf that you like, and we're going to start by doing some outlining. So I'm just going to take a piece of fabric, any old fabric. This is just cottony, polycotton stuff, nothing terribly interesting. And what is tempting to do is just put the leaf down and start to try and draw around it, but you can get away with it, but it'll just shift like this underneath the pen. So if you can, get a little embroidery hoop. This one's wrapped in tape. I'm sure those of you who've seen my videos before will know why, but it just holds everything in place a little more securely. So as usual, make sure it's nice and tight, like that. Now I'm going to take the stem off this leaf just because I think it'd make it easier for me. So we'll just like that. Now it'll be easier to trace onto the wrong side. So this side it will be flat against the table, so it won't again move around so much. So we'll just pop it there like this, and then just trace round it. Just have a little peek every now and again just to make sure it's coming through. Sometimes inspiration is a bit hard to find, and so if nature has done the hard design work for you, then that's always a bonus. There we go, like that. So join them all up, and then I don't know if you can see that terribly well, but it is there. If it's too pale, you can always draw over it again, or draw over it with a pen. But that's now ready for stitch. Now, as you may or may not be able to see, I've got the outline here of the leaf. Let's see if I can just about see it. There we go. And I've also done one on this dark colour because, well, if you know me, you'll know that dark colours are my thing. So it's got to be a dark colour, really. So I thought I'd make a silver outline, if you can see that, silver machine thread onto this one. And this is a variegated, again, a machine thread. But, use whatever thread you like. If you've got stranded cotton, then maybe a couple of strands of that. Or this is a slightly thicker cotton. You could use this, which is a perlé. Just whatever you like, really, whatever you've got. So we'll start off with this one. Now I always like to do my embroidery in a hoop. So in he goes. Pull it nice and tight, as always. And then we get to do the fun bit and play the drum, see if it works. Yep, nice and tight. So I think I'm just going to do a very simple back stitch for this one. Just a very basic, simple outline. So I'm going to use 2 strands of this, otherwise it'll be quite thin. So we'll just chop 2 lengths. So you can see it, it makes all sense, won't it? Now I know I normally use two layers of fabric to do my sewing on, but as this is quite a small design and there won't be a lot of embroidery on it, it should be alright just to get away with the one. I'm just going to thread the needle. Finally. And then we're going to tie a knot in the other end. And I know a lot of people don't like knots, but use whatever you want to use, but I'm afraid I'm a knot girl. I might grow out of it one day, but I haven't yet. There we go, tie a nice knot. And now you chop the end just down to a few millimetres, otherwise the end always keeps poking back through and that just gets annoying. Now, having successfully remembered not to put my glasses on, here we go. Oops, throw them on the floor. There we go, now I can see. So we're just going to do a little very simple back stitch today. So come up along the line and then a stitch back down a couple of millimetres along. And that's it, that's your job. So we'll do another one of these, just a few millimetres along, and then back down through this hole here. Wishing you hadn't had quite so many cups of coffee. There we go. And then carry on doing this all the way around. And we'll have a little pretty leaf. So I'll be back to you when I've finished. So here we are, I've back stitched around both designs. There you go, you can just about see, hopefully, the variegated nature of this thread. So it's quite dark there and then goes much paler green up here. But it's a bit boring, so we might need to do something with that one. So we can make it a bit more exciting. And there's this one, a bit more gloom because, well, I do like my dark colours. So we're going to make this one into a little card just to, you know, show you something you can do with it. It's not just something small and simple. So we'll just cut out this shape, leaving a little gap around it so that you can tear it. There we go. Let's take off all these excess threads. I do like my torn edges, so it's a recurring theme. There we go, like that. Sorry, I made it all at the wrong end. Now we've got a piece of paper. So we're just going to tear it, just larger than the fabric itself. Now when you're tearing, there's a, I don't know if you can see this, but this has got all the sort of fluffy ends at the top, and this is a very different looking edge. So try and make sure that you, whichever one you always use the same one all the way around. But that is the, so basically when you pull up, you create a sort of sharper edge than this one here, which is a bit more fluffy. I hope you can see that. And same just here. Make the tears nice and straight. You've got someone watching you. So you can see I'm digging my nail in a little bit here just to get the tear to go nicely, but it doesn't matter because this bit's going to be thrown away. But just watch out for doing that on the right side. You don't want big nail marks in the middle of everything. There we go. And the final side. There we go, like that. And then this is just a card blank, nothing exciting. And there we go. We can take that down, and then there's a nice handmade card for somebody. See, now I've looked at it again, I think that there's too much border around here, and I think the card would be nicer portrait rather than landscape. So instead of panicking, we'll just cut it a bit closer to the flower, to the leaf. Like this, still leaving a little bit of a gap. And then we'll just give everything a little fray. It's a little bit close at the top there, but pretend you didn't see that. As I said earlier, I do love my torn edges, so fraying will count as well. There you go. Now, as you can see on this line here, this is quite short here and it's quite long up here, so we'll just straighten that bit off. Doesn't have to be too exact, because hopefully everyone will be looking at your lovely stitching and not the how straight the frayed edges are. So now we'll get our piece of paper. This is the one, the original one. Oh, you see it's much too big. So we'll find the nicest edges, use those, and then tear this little bit extra off. And there we go. In my opinion, I think that looks much nicer without these little bits of fluff. So we'll just take that down. So I've forgotten to bring my tape. Where is it? Here it is. Now I've got one of these little gizmos that my mum gave me. So we'll use that on this, but it doesn't tend to work very well on fabric. So, quick tip for you there. There you go. Now I'll try and centre this through the camera, so it could be anywhere. There we go, round about there. And then we've got some normal double-sided tape for the other side. Doesn't seem to like those that tape very much. There we go. Right, pull this off. And when this is done, you'll know that you've created a completely unique piece, because only your leaf will make this same outline. So you're going to have to really like whoever you give this card to, because you've put so much effort and work into it. There we go. And that's one of the things you can do with your leaf. Right, so with this outline, we're going to try and cheer him up a little bit. It looks a bit dull. So I've got some acrylic paint in Tervet and cadmium yellow. But you know, you could use pencil crayons or watercolours, whatever you've got really. It's not. This isn't about having lots of stuff. This channel, this is just about using what you've got. So I'm going to mix bits and a few of them. Sorry, I'm going to mix them together with a dry brush. Little tiny brush, and I know I'm going to get your complaints about my little tiny brush again. But I like my little tiny brush. And we're just going to gently rub. So you get some of the colour transferring, but hopefully not too many of these sort of blob bits. Sorry if you can hear that. Now my cat's rummaging around underneath the table. Hello, Sheldon. There we go, so just up to the stitching. And then kind of a little rub to sort of blend it in a bit, but keep it looking all sort of scrappy. I think I've shut my workroom door, so the cat's going to be stuck in here. So it might squeak in a bit. So just continuing. Keep just sort of scrubbing it through, and you can always come back to it as well. Notice a bit that looks a bit clumpy. Yeah, put that there so you can see the great excitement of me mixing paint too. It's quite nice to add the sort of trendily called negative space. So thanks to James, my other half, for this idea. It's a bit stuck as to how to cheer it up a little bit. And, thanks, James. Bit of a big blob there, but don't worry, you can sort of smooth it out. I'm sorry about the cat if you can hear it. He's found a bag to sit on. Put a little picture of her up. You can see what she's been up to. Star of the video and all that. And then when you finish this, you can do as we did with the other one and make it into a card if you like, or you can keep it as a piece of poop art. Oh, the cat's come to see us now, so hopefully she's not going to knock anything out. Hello, Sheldon. Nearly there, not far now. Sometimes you find that by the time you get to the end, you've sort of slightly changed the style you do it, so you can always, you know, the width of the smudges or whatever it might be, so you can always just go over a little bit and join it a little bit more neatly. So you can just have a little bit of a tinker around and see any bits that the joins are a bit. Sorry, cat. And there we go. Now if you want to, you can add some little lines in. Should we do that? Why not? A little tiny bit of water in this one, just a little bit. You don't want it to spread, but you just want enough to get the paint moving a little bit. Just a little suggestion. I'm sorry, kitty cat. Yeah, 1 minute. Definitely the star of this video. So make sure I don't shut her in again next time. I'm sorry. There we go. There's the finished leaf, and I shall now go and let the cat in. Out. So, just as a little finish off, these are the things we've been doing with our little leaf outlines, and I hope they inspire you to do some things. Please pop by and say hello to me on my website, ruthnorbury.com, or like and share the video. Thanks very much for watching.